The Meeples and Miniatures podcast is sponsored by Two Fat Lardies and also by the donations of you, the listener. Thank you to everyone for your most generous support. On the 25th of January 2007, the very first episode of the Meeples and Miniatures podcast was published. Today, on the 10th anniversary, we present a special Meeples and Miniatures podcast, being what turned out to be, well, it was an experiment for us, a live stream of a show. As such, this is a recording of the live stream, including all the ums, and everything else that we may normally edit out of our regular shows. We've cleaned up the audio a bit, but other than that, it's pretty much exactly what went out on the live stream. We hope you enjoy the show. Thanks for listening. The Meeples and Miniatures podcast, episode 193. The 10th anniversary special, with hosts Neil Shuck, Mike Hobbs, Mike Whitaker and Dave Luff. Hello, gentle listener, and welcome to the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. Today is a very special day, as, in probably an hour and 20 minutes time, 10 years ago, the very first episode of the Meeples and Miniatures podcast was published. So we're 10 years old, and to celebrate, we're doing something we've never done before, which is a live stream. So hello to everybody out there who is currently listening. We would welcome your input throughout the show. You can do that either on the Facebook group or via Twitter. If you use the hashtag, I think it's #MM10years, I think is the one we were going to use, you can interact with us and as I say, we'll do something we've never done before, which is good. Also, at the end of this, we'll be publishing the show out as soon as I get my act together and, just do a couple of bits and pieces technically and load it up to the website. So hopefully this show will go out before midnight UK time as well. So, welcome to the 10-year anniversary of the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. Wow, 10 years. That seems to be an awfully long time. If you'd told me 10 years ago that I'd be doing this, or still be doing this, I really don't think I'd have believed you. So, first and foremost, I just want to say, there were loads of people who've been messaging me this week and saying, I've been with you since episode 1. And it's like, well, I can't believe, it's staggering. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. And thank you for helping to make Meeples and Miniatures what it is. So, 10 years. What are we going to do tonight? Well, it's a little bit of a banter kind of sort of show. So, we're going to try and catch up with what we've been doing since Christmas, because we haven't really had much of a chance to chat with everybody. So we're going to be doing some of that. And then we've got a whole host of questions. Well, we've got some questions lined up already that people have been asking us to say, can you do this on the show and can you do that on the show? So we'll try and get through as many questions as we can. And we'll try and keep it to around about 2 hours. Which, most of you hearing that statement will probably be giggling at this point in time. Yes, this is us. Fat chance of that. Well, yeah, we will try. We'll keep it to around about 2 hours. So we'll be transmitting till about 9:30, or maybe earlier, depending on if you have any technical problems, or our technical guru, our live streaming technical guru hits the wrong button. But there we go. So that's the plan for this evening. So here I am, and yeah, it's been good. So we've, I suppose at this point, I'm feeling quite lonely actually. So I suppose I better try and get some other people on, because it's although I started the show as a solo show, as most of you will remember, and for the first, was it 7? Well, yeah, quite a few episodes I did it solo. But it's always better if you have a bit of a conversation going, because otherwise, talking in a monologue like this is, well, gets a bit samey after a while. So I thought at the time it would be good to have a conversation going. So, thought it'd be good to invite a few people along. And as you know, it's grown since then. So shall we get some people on? So, Meeples and Miniatures calling the Welsh Wizard. Are you there, sir?
Sorry, I drifted off the sound of your dulcet tones. Yes, Neil, I am here.
Greetings, good evening.
The Welsh country is here, and we're all very excited.
Can I have the scores from the Welsh? Can I have the scores from the Welsh jury, please?
Yes. Nupla.
Let's find out if we've got any cake left. Mr. Whitaker, do you have cake?
Not at the moment.
Oh,
okay.
That's a bit disappointing.
Oh, kind of too busy trying to make sure this stream works.
I was hoping you'd at least have some birthday cake.
Sadly, no. There is still some cake from Mr. Youngling sitting in the fridge, pending your arrival for a game of Dungeon Saga, though.
Uh-huh. And foolishly at some point, somebody's trying to get Phil on the phone. No. Oh, dear.
See, we're live.
We're live, yeah. This bit normally gets edited out. And then we have the Luffmeister himself. 321 is back in the room. It's Mr. Luff.
I'm back in the room, fresh from Tenerife like a bronzed Adonis.
Bronzed Adonis? What?
Actually.
That's all right.
What, and then lost the bronze ones while watching Tigers get thrashed on Sunday?
I even managed to watch them get thrashed actually in Tenerife as well, which was great. Yeah, never mind, onwards and upwards.
Well, the gang's all here. Hello, one and all. And as I say, the first thing we thought we'd do is, as we normally do, have a bit of a catch up, because it's been a long while since we've all been together. So we'll just try to have a catch up and find out what we've been doing since Christmas. Now, rumour has it that the post office have had to take out extra stocks of cardboard boxes to help supply Mr. Hobbs with what's been going to his house in Wales. And I must admit, I'm not been that far behind him. So, who wants to kick off with what you've been doing since Christmas?
Oh, shall I dive in, seeing mine's not nice and short? So, as you already know, I've been to Tenerife. I tried to drink Tenerife dry. Failed. Never mind. Lots of cooking lager to be had there was there. The local stuff called Dorada, which after about 2 pints was a bit too much. Gaming-wise, Command and Colours Napoleonics, had a bit of a dabble with that, with your good self, Neil. I haven't painted anything, well, apart from 1-to-1, of course, and I've not bought anything as a sensible wargamer that I am does. And that's me. Pretty boring since Christmas, to be honest. But I was thinking I really need to paint the rest of those British tanks I've got.
Is that it?
That is it. That's it. I've been suffering from alcohol poisoning, so yeah. No, I haven't. That's a joke. It's a joke. That'd normally be edited out, of course, but this is live, so no. I was a careful drinker in the sun.
So just to say that Dave isn't an alcoholic, he's just a drunk.
Well, yeah. And when I go on holiday, anyway. Yeah.
Hang on, isn't that kind of pot and kettle?
Ooh.
Vaguely.
Moving on.
A quick question, Mr. Luff. What did you think? I mean, I know we didn't actually kind of finish the game because we.
Oh yes.
Yes, we made a bit of a faux pas with the rules for
Yes. Well, yeah, I was winning too well, wasn't I?
Yeah, and then we discovered why you were winning too well.
yeah, we'd made a mistake, hadn't we?
Yeah. British line, don't get 6 dice when advancing. Anyway,
they do in my army.
Well drilled, chaps. But what did you think? Because we played with the new expansion, didn't we? The new tactical cards.
Yeah.
What was your first impression? I know we didn't get too far, but what was your first impressions of that?
Well, time out, guys. Of what? You haven't actually said what you were playing.
Yes, we did. We were playing Commander and Colours Napoleonics.
Ah, right. Thank you. Okay, sorry. May not have been paying attention. My bad.
He fell asleep.
Pay no attention.
You can't put any point now, though. What did I make of that? I mean, obviously, we first came across it when we were playing Great War, didn't we?
Yeah.
And really, without the tactics cards, I don't think Great War would have been that great. And it really does make it. To play it the other night with Napoleonics, it really did make a bit of a difference. I thought it just gives the players a bit more choice. It makes you think a bit more, and I think choice and something that makes you think a bit more and allows you to sort of interplay cards and change them, and even one card in your hand by playing another card simultaneously can sort of change how that card works. Just gives you more options within the deck. So I think anything like that's got to be good in the game, hasn't it?
Well, I think so. It obviously it works a bit differently because they've kind of integrated it as a. I hate to say as an afterthought, but like obviously in things like the Great War and also in like Battle Royale First Edition, and I think Samurai Battles as well. You can collect tokens in order to spend these tactics cards later, or whatever they're called in that in the particular game later on. But of course, with the Napoleonic one, you choose tactics cards when you play certain cards. So they've changed the deck in order to do it. But so choosing new tactics cards or getting new tactics cards is actually fairly few and far between. So they're quite a limited resource in comparison, I think, with some of the other games.
Yeah. Great War, they're a little bit more obtainable, aren't they?
Yeah. So I think you do have to husband them a little bit more than you would do. But I think it's a positive move. I quite enjoyed it.
Next, get on with it.
Well, since it was you, shall I go on?
Yeah, go on.
Go on then. Right, okay. Right. So, what have I played since Christmas? You've just heard it because Dave's been on holiday. So I've been sat twiddling my thumbs and wondering what to do. So, what have I done? I ended up painting. Shock and indeed horror.
It's all a cunning ploy.
It's all a cunning ploy. Yeah. Well, I mean, my painting had kind of stalled since like back end of September last year, and what we've.
To be fair, that's good for you though, Neil, isn't it? It did stall for a decade at one point.
Ooh, touche.
Well, he does have a point. To be fairly honest, he does have a point. Anyway, so I was looking back through some of the posts that we'd made and looking back at when I started basically when I started painting again last year, or just before Christmas last year. And it was part of it was other than the fact that I actually wanted to get an army painted, was spurred on by a blog post that Henry Hyde had made, and which is basically talking about painting at least 30 minutes a day, which again was something that Luffy had been banging on me about for many of those 10 years. So I went back to it this week. So last week, thought, okay, 30 minutes a day, let's give it a go. And it's cracking on a bit. So I picked up the stuff that I was working on at the time, which is my Planetfall army, Terran Planetfall army. And I've finished my Grand Attack Helix. I'm partway through my Grand Command Helix, and it's going all right. So I was quite pleased with that. So I'm back painting again, which is something. As I say, played Commander Clause Napoleonics, and then what have I bought? I was being good.
Yeah.
I think I kind of fell off the wagon just a little bit.
Well, that lasts about 12 days, did it?
He wishes.
Well, because you see, it's the aftermath of Christmas. So you got a bit of money from Christmas, and of course, it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago.
Was it, Neil? How old were you? 22?
22. Oh, yeah, 22 again. Yeah. Which kind of makes it interesting because I never realised actually just how soon I started this podcast after my 40th birthday. Which kind of makes you wonder whether this podcast is just a part of my midlife crisis, but there you go.
When it comes to midlife crises, mate, if this is it, then
you're
definitely doing it wrong.
I don't know.
I don't know. If you had up all the money that I spent on games in the last 2 years, I'm sure I could have avoided. I'm sure I could now afford a motorbike.
Or a Porsche.
Invested.
Yes. Anyway, so yes, so I had a bit of money to spend, and it was like, and then someone very kindly sent me a present, which was the force was obviously very strong because given a 50-50 chance of either duplicating something I bought or getting me something different, he chose the right way. Well done, Mr. Hobbs. Thank you.
That's okay. More luck than judgment.
Anyway, so what have we got? Basically, half a dozen ships for X-Wing, because I have foolishly, some would say, entered into a regional for X-Wing at Battlefield Hobbies. Hello, the guys at Battlefield Hobbies. They're having a regional on the 11th and 12th of March. There's I think currently there's over 70 players, including me. And I'm thinking, what am I doing?
70? You should be all right there, Neil.
What, you think I should still be able to get the wooden spoon out of 70 players?
Well, I'm hoping you're not going to. But,
Anyway, but I was in. I think my Imperial squadrons were in sore need of reinforcement, so I've ended up getting half a dozen ships for X-Wing. And all I've got to try and do now is find enough time and find someone to play with to have a play around with some different squadron builds, because it's sci-fi, so Dave won't play with me.
Oh, bring him over. I've already told you I'll help you out.
So
take one for the team. As long as I'm going to play with space pixies, I'm all right.
Ooh, space pixies. More rich in a second, I think. And then I got what else did I get? I got several expansions for Lord of the Rings, the card game. Because having started playing that again back end of last year with Josh, I remembered why I really liked it, and then you know how the collector in you starts nagging at the back of your, there's a thing that starts tapping at the back of your head, going.
Don't know what you mean.
Going. You haven't got that expansion yet, and you haven't got this expansion yet.
No, don't know what you mean.
And it's like, you better get that quick because that's going out of print. Stupidly enough, one of the deluxe expansions for Fantasy Flight, for the which one was it? It's the one before the Grey Haven cycle. Its name currently escapes me, but the deluxe box set. It's for the where they go to Angmar. It's for the Angmar Unleashed, Angmar Awakened cycle. Anyway, the deluxe box set for that had basically disappeared from the UK. There was a couple of places that were doing it, and both of them wanted like 50 quid for it. Which considering, its normal retail price is about anywhere between £22 and £25, was, I thought, a little bit overpriced. And stupidly enough, I managed to get it from the States for 31 quid, for $31, including postage, which I thought was a result. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, so I bought a few expansions for that, and I'm desperately trying to play catch up with that to get all the box all the card expansions. Hopefully, I'll be up to date with that by middle of the year. And finally, been expanding my Planet 4 army. So I've got, basically everything I was missing from my Terran force. Which is like 5 helixes, something like that. Including things like, Leviathan and stuff. So, yeah, lots to paint, lots of stuff to do. Lots of stuff bought, lots of boxes arriving. So yeah, fell off the wagon big time. I think I've spent half my gaming budget for the year, but there you go.
Well, I think that's terrible, mate. You've got no self-control, and frankly, you've just let yourself go.
It's irresponsible, Mike.
Irresponsibility. Yes, that's what it is, Dave.
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah.
I'm feeling desperately ashamed. Yeah. Hello, my name is Neil. I'm a gamer.
I'm a gameaholic.
So that's me.
The rest of you about that.
Yes, that's me.
It's only 2 kilos of lead. What harm can it do?
It's not lead, it's resin. Resin and plastic. Resin, plastic and card.
Go on, Mr. Whitaker, because I really don't want to do mine.
Why ever not?
He's still unwrapping it, that's why.
Yeah.
Dear. Well, it was the real question was here: did we want to go the Star Wars and completing the set route, or the Space Pixies route? And since we're going the Star Wars and completing the set route, it better be me, isn't it?
Yeah, go on.
So I bought Star Wars Imperial Assault and the first scenario expansion and several expansion sets, and there's probably more in my future. I plead the fact that the wife is fond of A, Star Wars, and B, dungeon crawls, which means that sort of scratches both itches at once. So
excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
So. I thought so. It definitely scratches multiple itches in my book, so that's kind of good.
However, can I just point out one thing? I think I might have pulled off a slight masterstroke on that.
Go on.
You get somebody else to buy Imperial Assault.
Yeah, all right.
Hello, Mr. Hickman, if you're listening. Well done, mate. Dave Hickman, who is a good friend of mine. I've worked with him for more years than we both care to remember. He's getting into board games. He's now part of our gaming group. And having seen Rogue One, he went out and he bought Imperial Assault.
Could get expensive, this could, for him. Poor guy.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Really
Sorry to interrupt, Miss Whitaker. Back to you, sir. I just wanted to point out the alternative,
Yeah, could get very expensive. I mean, that was kind of my motivation. It came out of Imperial Assault. Came out of Rogue One going, that looks like a Star Wars Imperial Assault scenario.
Or 2.
Or 3. Or many.
Or campaign.
Or campaign, yeah, indeed. And it would not surprise me if it is at some point in the future. While we're on with augmenting the collection, the what's the word? Sales of Glory Wave 3 is finally out in this country.
Yay!
So I had a slightly expensive accident with good old Ruben from PE2 Collectibles, and I now have a distinctly larger Spanish fleet.
Oh dear.
No, I'm completely unrepentant. It was well worth it. The big Spanish 115 gun ship of the line is absolutely gorgeous. He's well tasty.
Is that quite a big one then?
It's same size as most of the other big ships of the line, but it's really quite classy looking. So much so I bought 2.
So it's good to have 2.
You never know when they're like. Yeah, exactly. They're slightly different paint jobs, and they can do double duty as different ships. And Carl from the club bought a few as well, so we can field. Our running gag at the moment is that between us, we have more ships than the current British Navy by quite a way.
I think you have more. I think you have almost more ships than the Navy of the period, don't you?
The Glorious Fourth was really Glorious Fifth, whatever it was, and Trafalgar we're up in the hundreds. I don't think we quite manage 100 between us yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but it's only January.
Exactly, and Wave 4's out sometime soon.
I was going to say it's a work in progress, isn't it?
Absolutely. Club campaign later in the year. So we've got to make sure we have enough ships, just in case. Apart from that, what have I done? Oh, Lord. Did quite a bit of scenery painting. The Realm of Battleboard is finished. Anybody who was looking at Twitter the other night will have seen it featuring a little bit of I Ain't Been Shot Them in Italy that we were playing down the club, including a couple more buildings which are not 3D printed. They're resin from someone on eBay. Rather nice. I've also painted up a bunch of Total Battle Miniatures flexible roads, the latex ones that all basically just sit over hills and look like they were meant to be there, to match the grass on the board, which look quite nice. What else have I done? I have signed an official license with Mr. Marcus Bergman. He of the very nice 3D printable tank novels, tank design files in 1/100th and 1/200th scale. So I can now officially, legally, without offending anybody, including him, sell you 3D printed tanks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought so. There's quite a range of stuff. I might stick a list up for those who are interested. I've already got a few commissions, but I'm still waiting for my printer head to come back from its service, which should be arriving tomorrow, so I can actually start printing stuff again. And I think that's about it. Oh, I appear to have failed to duck fast enough, and I'm still chairman of Peterborough War Games Club.
Yay!
Foot of the year.
Yeah, and that's about it.
So, on to the mailbag then.
No. Actually, before we go any further, Mr. Whitaker, I've just been looking, and there are some comments on the Facebook page to say that it's all gone quiet.
Shouldn't have. Famous last words.
If anybody's listening on the Facebook page and would like to comment, if they can hear us, and if they can't, obviously we won't get a comment.
There's no comments, it's obviously fine.
It shouldn't have, but I'll try hitting that button just in case.
We have had a few comments. Mr. Keith Erickson has made a few tweets.
Pithy remarks.
Yes, so he's obviously listening.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Nick is listening, Mr. Skinner from Two Fat Lardies. And Basement Games is listening as well. So, hello, chaps.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Tiny Terrain Model says, are you aware the live feed has crashed? That was 6 minutes ago.
Ah, we go.
Well, we weren't aware of it 6 minutes ago. We are now, eh?
Yeah.
We got our top men working on it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Got a bloke with a hammer hitting a button.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I like Nick's comment about the fact that he's not having to share the wine gums. Well, hang on, mate. Where's ours?
Yeah, right.
Please, a parcel on the way, if you don't mind, please.
It may have crashed at your end, folks, but my end says it's quite happily streaming. So, and having seen what happens when it crashes, it's not crashed at my end. So, sorry,
okay,
folks.
Okay. Well, somebody has just tweeted there is no audio on the Facebook side.
Should be now, if there wasn't before.
Hang on 1 second. I'm just going to...
Technology, you gotta love it. It's all an experiment anyway. It's something we may do again in a more organised and less chaotic fashion at some point.
What else?
You never know.
Oh! Jeff Bond is saying, I can hear you. It's up again.
Hello, Jeff.
Congratulations. Well done, Mr. Whitaker, you fixed it.
Is there
there we
anybody
go.
there?
Right, in which case, clearly, the note to self is not that button there.
3, 2, 1, you're back in the room, guys.
Let's roll.
Cool. Well, sorry to everybody who the live stream crashed. Hello again.
You only missed me spending lots of money on Sales of Glory, Star Wars Imperial Assault, and random bits of scenery.
Just means you have to listen to the Popper podcast when it gets released. Mwahaha.
Ah, I knew there was a reason for it.
So, we're missing one person that's not said what they've done before Christmas. And I think he's still unwrapping the boxes that have been delivered by Royal Mail and various other couriers. The Hobgoblin himself. What you been up to, Mr. Hobbs?
Well, in my defence, I've been off work for the last 3 weeks with the chest infection from hell.
Bad old
which
potato. Here we go. I was bored.
I was bored.
I was
And
browsing the
there's the
internet.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to buy anything, but
yeah. So I picked up a few bits and bobs.
Couple. Yes. Okay. So
Jeff,
I'm trying not to steal your thunder. Yeah. Good. Sorry. Go on. Carry on.
So I also got the Imperial Assault Jabba's Palace and Jabba the Hutt, which I pre-ordered before Christmas, so that doesn't count.
You are several expansions ahead of me in that case.
Yeah. And I actually my Actum Cthulhu Skirmish game, which I pre-ordered in April, has finally turned up after taking 6 weeks to actually get posted out and actually delivered. So I'm not massively impressed by Monolith, by Medephius, but hey, it's arrived now. Still some bits missing, but most of it's here. So I got that. I got the Command and Colors Napoleonics Epic expansion. It's just turned up, which is a great big heavy box.
That's lots
I
of
bought a card shuffler.
that's lots of extra boards, isn't it? In the
you bought a card shuffler.
Yeah, I bought a card shuffler.
Was it any good?
It was only £6. It seems to work.
Oh, right.
I think it'll probably destroy cards if you use it quite often, but for now and again, it's good.
Yeah, I bought a card shuffler once. It was rubbish.
Yeah. It's probably the same one. And other than that, I got a few bits and bobs for Epic because I'm back into Epic.
I got bits and bobs.
Oh, I bought an army.
Bought a army.
I suppose in all this, you're going to blame Terras, aren't you?
Yes, let's blame Terras. Let's blame somebody else. So Terras made me. So I started sorting out my armies, and I posted pictures, and I worked out that I didn't have my my Elder army, which I lost. So I thought, it'd be nice to get one of those. And I had a few bits of bobs, and then I found one on eBay, so I bought that. And now I bought a couple extra bits to go with that, and some orc stuff.
Hang on.
And a few Titans.
A few Titans. A couple.
5.
5? That's That's nearly 3 couples.
Yeah. So things have been bought. I'm not ashamed, you know.
Mistakes have been made.
Oh no mistakes. I planned each one. I have done some painting as well.
Hang on. Wait, you planned each one. I mean, how planned are some of these purchases? Are these planned by, the planning being, I could do one of those.
Yeah.
Click.
Pretty much, yeah.
You really don't want too many chest infections in a year if they're going to cost you this much, do you?
Yeah, it has cost me a bit. Especially as the wife's working from home, so she gets to see all the parcels coming in the house.
No!
Every day.
Fortunately, mine has just gone back off sabbatical.
Oh. So I bought a few bits and bobs. So I'm
A few bits and bobs.
I played some games. I played Command & Colors, Napoleonics, and Ancients. I played the Epic version, the Tacticians version that you guys played as well. And yes, it does.
Dear, you've got Epic on the brain, haven't you?
I have. I've really gone down. Command & Colors, Napoleonic, Tacticians version, I really like. I think it really changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I also bought Dungeon Saga and the Adventures Compendium part.
Don't know how that happened.
No.
Oh, that was being something that we perhaps did and you haven't heard, and you listeners haven't heard yet.
No.
Yeah. Just
Spoiler
say,
alert.
spoiler alert. Look out for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those where things happen during the show.
Yeah.
Poor
Anyway,
impulse control. Poor impulse control.
But I've also played a couple of games of Dungeon Saga to try that out with my mate Mark, which is why I went and then bought the Adventurers Compendium part. And I've had a game of Net Epic.
Ooh.
In fact, I've had 2 games of Net Epic, and it's great. So my armies have been blooded again after 20 years.
So when you say Net Epic, that's Net Epic as opposed to Second Edition Space Marine?
Yeah, Net Epic is the fan-based version of Second Edition.
Right, okay.
So when they dropped the support, a bunch of fans got together and basically kept the game alive and tweaked it a bit and made it their own. And it's a really good version. I played that. And I did some painting. And that's all. So, mailbag. And
yeah, I mean, it's fair to say you did a fair amount of painting, haven't you?
Well, I've been off for 3 weeks. I'm bored.
I bet you can't wait to get back to work. I bet you're bored of painting, aren't you?
Never get bored of painting.
Yes, right, okay, so now we've established that there really is nothing to see here. Oh dearie me, yes. That idea about doing an epic show, that really has bit you on the bum, hasn't it?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good show.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a great show. It's just decidedly expensive. Anyway, right, okay. So, that's what we've been doing, basically since Christmas. So
we have a question on Twitter, Mr. Keith Erickson.
Yes.
Basically asking me, is there no AAR for the second Epic game? No, I forgot to take pictures.
What?
Sorry. I didn't take my camera. And we were playing and... Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll probably have another game next week, so I'll take pictures then.
Cool.
Hi, Keith.
Indeed. Hello, Keith. And hello once again to everybody who is listening out in Facebook land. So hello to Jonathan and if you missed it earlier, the cake's still in the fridge. Hello to...
Oh, sorry, Neil. Before we jump onto the mailbag,
Yes?
and you finish that, could I just say that it's Crusade this weekend in Penarth.
Oh, yeah.
First War Games event of the year, and they've moved to a new venue. So they moved to a school, and the laddies are coming down, and I'm going to have a drink with Rich and Nick afterwards.
Oh, dear.
Good luck, everybody.
like that isn't going to end well.
Yeah.
You're practicing for later in the year, then, are you? Yeah.
Well, as far as the cold goes, that'll either end it or mend it.
Exactly.
Kill or cure.
Kill or cure. Yeah.
Ooh.
And I think Jeff, my mate Jeff Bond is coming out as well. Which should be good. Hello, Jeff, and hello, Steve.
Cool.
Sorry, Neil. Back to you, sir.
No, yeah, fine. Okay. Right, let's crack on, shall we? So, we were asking, or we've been asking, if people want to ask us some questions, with it being a live-ish show and everything, it's always easy to kind of, ask questions and do a mailbag and various other bits and pieces. And especially, hopefully, this time around, we'll be a lot more interactive about it as well. So, we've got a few questions lined up, but obviously, if you're listening, or you're on Twitter, then please send some in now, and we will hopefully catch up and be able to answer some live on air as well. Right. Okay, but first off, we'll go through a couple that we had. Now, we had some brilliant questions, and unfortunately, I can't find the email that this got sent in, so I can't give credit to who sent these in. So I apologise in advance to whoever sent these questions in. I hang my head in shame in the fact that I wasn't organised enough to actually remember who sent these in, but thank you. Or actually, I don't know whether thank you is quite the right word, because reading through the questions I kind of went, the first one's great, and kind of get to the others and kind of go, oh, okay. Right. So, the first question, and since it's our 10th birthday, we've got 3 questions relating to 10 years. Okay. So, starting with, I think, Mr. Luff. And then we'll each answer the question and then we'll go to the next one, okay? So, is there any game you were playing 10 years ago that you're still playing?
Yes, definitely one. It's Memoir 44, and then it turned into Command and Colours. And I'm still not playing Memoir so much anymore. I still have a dabble every so often, but definitely Command and Colours. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. So it's got some legs.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no, sorry, that actually goes into another question, so I'll save that for later.
10 years of playing and I still forget the rules. Not like me, is it? No.
I wasn't going to go there, but there you go.
Yeah.
How about you, Mr. Whitaker? Take yourself off mute.
Yeah. I'm trying about 8 things at once, including put the questions up on the video stream.
Okay.
See, just check that out, huh? Cool or what? Yeah. I'm going to have to go back to when I came back into wargaming, because 10 years ago I wasn't wargaming. And that will be Wings of Glory, which is the first game I ever played at Peterborough War Games Club, and it's still a great fun pick-up. Got nothing else to do on a club evening. Let's get the Wings of Glory stuff out game. It's great fun.
Cool. Mr. Hobbs.
Yeah. Epic. Space Marine. And Flintlock I still play. I've had that for years. And when did I Ain't Been Shotman first come out?
Did you actually play first edition?
Which edition?
Oh, I played second edition.
Oh, second edition is mid-2000s, mid-late 2000s.
Yeah.
Because the first edition, didn't Rich say first edition was about 2003?
Yeah. So probably didn't.
So it's close. It's close, but
Yeah, pretty close.
Right. And yeah, again with me, funny enough, I was looking back at the start of the podcast and what I was talking about, and the one thing that the two games that really stand out, Command and Colours Ancients, and Battle Law, as in Battle Law First Edition. And yes, still playing both of those. So
there's a bit of a thread here, isn't there?
There is a bit of a thread there, yes. So, but yeah, games that stand the test of time. So that's what we were playing 10 years ago that we're still playing.
So that's our best value games then for the last 10 years if we're still playing them, surely.
Well, I suppose in terms of pounds spent to games played.
Yeah. I think I did sit down once and actually work out sort of like how much it cost me, and it was like sort of like 5 pence a battle or 10 pence a battle. I've played it that many times. Yeah. So yeah.
Beats a trip to the cinema.
Money well spent.
Right. Okay, so I suppose the flip side of that is there a game that you bought 10 years ago that you have yet to play? Is it still in its shrink wrap? Mr. Luff.
Now, no, I haven't got any game that I've not played in 10 years now that I bought 10 years ago. The only thing we can go back to is the time I managed to how are we going to put this, Neil? Got a lot of games from the works when they were selling all those games off. So how long ago was that now? 5 years ago?
Yeah. It doesn't really count, does it? But it was a while ago. Yeah.
So that's the best I can do. I think there is still a few actually still in their shrink wrap from 5 years ago that I haven't touched yet. When they were selling them off at £7.99 a pop. Yeah, and I filled my boots. And the least said about that, the better, really.
Indeed, yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Indeed, yes. How about you, Mr. Whitaker? Is there a game that you bought 10 years ago that you have yet to play?
Well, again, not 10 years ago, but in my first year of writing the blog and being a wargamer again, Napoleon at War.
Oh, right.
Still haven't played it. There's about 12 boxes sitting in the lead pile that haven't been painted yet.
Send them to me. I'll have them.
No, you won't. They are on the list to go to somebody to paint this year as part of Operation Get Bleep Done.
Right. Okay. Mr. Hobbs.
I think the only one I bought that I haven't played is Future War Commander.
Is that 10 years old now?
I think so. It's old.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it? Yeah.
I could go and find it and tell you if you want.
Crikey, yeah.
And probably Warhammer Fantasy.
But
that's 25 years ago I bought that.
Well, it's just...
Actually, 30 years ago I bought that.
Have you ever actually played a Fantasy Battle then?
No.
Oh, right, okay. Ooh.
I got 3 versions of it. I keep thinking, I really want to play this. And I never got around to playing it.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at, I think that I've got a couple of sets of rules that kind of fall into that, I think. However, the one game that, for me, immediately springs to mind, especially since I kind of looked at it and went, crikey, is that really 10 years old? And not only did I buy the original game, but I bought all the expansions, as you do.
Oh.
and I still haven't played it. And that's Tannhauser.
You promised me games of that loads of times over the last 8 years.
I know, and we've never quite got round to it. And it's...
I've got all the stuff. I've got all the expansions. We'll have a game of that.
Because
the year rolls by.
Because it's even at the point where it's like Fantasy Flight, like it's done and dusted. It's they've stopped doing it. They stopped producing it. But yeah, I have absolutely everything for Tannhauser, and yeah, I hope it's a good game.
Apparently, the will to play it.
Well, there's so many games to play. It's just one of these things. If I mean, for the wall, it was most of it was buried in a box in the spare room. But yeah, I suppose having now exposed that to the world, it's there. We've got to get it out and play it. I mean, got to go for it. And of course, this is the point where you'll play it and kind of go, "This is a bit rubbish, isn't it?"
Or this would be the other way round.
Yeah. So if anybody's got it and played it, and you're currently listening to the live stream, please comment and please tell me I'm not wasting my time and it's actually a good game. Oh, and by the way, I do have the second set of rules, the second rule book that Fantasy Flight produced for the game, so which apparently made it a lot better. But there you go. So yeah, Tannhauser. We need to get down and play that this year. Okay, so that's game that you bought 10 years ago that you have yet to play, and the last one, which felt like a dagger to the heart, are there any figures that you bought 10 years ago that you've yet to paint? Mr. Luff.
You're gonna go with me? I was just letting you recover from the shock, Neil. I didn't know if you were still there. I've got a smattering of 6mm stuff that at the time was spares, which I probably could actually get my finger out and probably do something with now. And apart from that, I've still got all my Airfix stuff, all my 32s or whatever they are, 35s, and I've got all my what was it? I can't remember. 172. Crikey, it's that long ago. I can't even remember. I still got all that. Some of that was painted, and some of it's all flaked off, as it does when you're a kid. But apart from that, I'm really good, aren't I? Yeah, I'm a bit sad. I'm not like you, Neil. I've had to reinforce the loft.
You think he's joking? I had to move it.
You had to put acros up, didn't you? Quick, get the acros in. Do you know a builder, Dave? Yeah.
I kid you not. I'm sure it was like I was storing stuff in the loft, and I'm sure I kind of walked into Josh's room one day, looked up and went, "Is that ceiling starting to bow?" So I went back up the loft and then moved everything to the shed very quickly.
He didn't have a lead mounting, but when he sold half of it on eBay, the actual footings of the house rose by 6 inches. About right, isn't it?
Something like that. Moving swiftly on, Mr. Whitaker.
So, apart from the Napoleon at War stuff, I do have at least 3. There's a box of Praetorians, a box of Veterans, and probably most of a box of ordinary Roman legionaries from Warlord that are still sitting unpainted from my first foray into WAB.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Mm. So most of your stuff's painted then?
No, I didn't say that. You asked what the oldest was.
The oldest was? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you just said anything I bought, equivalent to 10 years ago. There's plenty of stuff newer than that not painted, but that wasn't the question.
That's fair enough. Mr. Hobbs.
Loads.
That's it, just loads.
You can leave it at that if you like, Hobbsy.
There is one box of when I turned 40, so 10 years ago and a bit. My wife bought me a divisional pack for Slaughterloo of the Jockyans, which cost quite a bit of money, and I've only painted one unit out of the 6 or 7 that are in the box. And every now and again she walks up into the study and goes, "Have you painted those vats yet?" And I go quiet. But one day I will. One day, one glorious day.
Tut.
What when you have like more than three weeks at a time off work?
Yeah.
You're saying maybe you should put that in for the next chest infection.
Yeah.
Instead
I'll
of
put that one in now.
take a bit of ease off the credit card, like.
Dave, we both know that's not going to happen.
No, but you can always hope, can't we?
Distractions.
Yeah.
Ooh, shiny.
But yeah, there's lots of other stuff.
Yeah. My name's Mike Hobbs, and I'm a Shinaholic.
Yeah. I've got a problem.
Oh crikey! I looked at that question. And I just went, "Where do I start?"
you just say yes, Neil, and that's it.
Yes.
Before you start, Neil, just everyone who's listening live, now's a good time to go and get a cup of tea, slice of cake.
Maybe do your tax returns.
Yeah, this could take a while.
No, I won't go into it massively, but I mean the things that immediately spring to mind. Funny enough, I did email Aid Deacon. Hello, Aid, if you're listening. I did email Aid Deacon the other week and turned around and said, Aid, you know when you were running Battle Honours, when did you release all your Baker Company Vietnam stuff? Was it about 10 years ago? And he went, yes. Oh, right, okay.
That's another game I've been promised like forever.
Oh, Vietnam, yes. Yeah, well, interestingly enough, on the Vietnam front, I mean, I do actually have some of those figures painted. I do have a couple of platoons painted. I haven't got any scenery. I've got to make some scenery. But there's an excellent conversion, or looks to be an excellent conversion of Chain of Command for Vietnam that some guys have been working on. So
they 28s then.
They are 28s.
So shame you haven't got enough for Charlie Don't Surf then.
Oh no, I've got no. No. I've got two complete forces for Charlie Don't Surf in 10mm, but they're less than 10 years old, so we won't talk about them.
Right.
Moving swiftly on. Yeah. Anyway, so there's a Baker Company. There's a whole load of Copplestone Future Wars stuff, because I really liked the Future Wars, the assault guy. You know, basically the modern troops, both the Neo-Soviets and the assault troopers. They're still some of my favourite sci-fi minis, so I bought those. And they're still resplendent in their blisters. And actually, he was doing them in boxes then, even as well. Crikey.
So what you're starting to say here is that we could actually use up the rest of the 2 hours for this show on your unpainted part.
Oh, certainly. I mean, even from 10 years ago, I mean, there's all the hassle-free Grimm. I bought a shed load of hassle-free Grimm because they were brilliant. And, not doing anything with them. And just to say, it goes even further back than that. I've even got some of the original Chaos Terminators, which I'd bought to play the Terminator versus Terminator version of Space Hulk.
They're probably worth a bit.
Yeah, possibly. Now, this is the first edition. This isn't the box when they bought it. With the newer. When it was the multi-parts with all the spiky bits with the skulls on the spikes and all that sort of stuff. This was the first time they brought out Chaos Terminators, and I've even still got some of those, which is kind of in the box. Oh well, I put them together like. But it could go on for a while. I mean, admittedly, I've got rid of all my World War II stuff. Which I owned for quite some time, and I got rid of all my 148 plastic kits, my World War II stuff, which I owned.
Many of them, was there?
No. And of course, having done that, now we see we see what the Lordies are currently working on. And I'm thinking,
I wish I had sold it all.
Oh, that looked good in 28 mil. Hope it works in 15s. Yeah. Yes, quite a bit. Did I say I wasn't very good? Did I happen to mention at some point that I wasn't very good at painting stuff? Moving swiftly on, right.
Half an hour a day, mate. Half an hour a day.
Indeed.
You'll soon log through it.
Maybe half an hour a day. By the time I get, by the time we get another 10 years into the podcast, yeah,
you'd have got a quarter of the way through it.
Yeah.
Quarter.
If he's lucky.
Indeed. I think that's done that. Right. Thank you for, again, apologies for I haven't got a note of who sent those in. Thanks a heap for them. So that's done that bit of the 10 years. So we got loads of other questions to go through. So let's plough through these, shall we? And now, according to my watch, we've got about an hour of the show to go. So hopefully we can get loads of stuff in between now and the end of the show.
Well, it depends how much you keep waffling on, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case then, I'll shut up.
Get on with it.
Right, okay. Question from Jim Bob on Facebook. Hello, Jim Bob. Do you think we should look at wargaming shows less as a trade show / gaming show event and more like a village show where we just enjoy the thing for what it is rather than trying to create some sort of reason for its being?
Huh?
I must admit, I'm not 100% sure if I understand the question.
I say yes.
I think, yeah. I don't know. Without putting words in someone's mouth, is he saying that years ago we used to go for shows for basically buying stuff, didn't we? And some gaming, which I suppose is sort of more the American side of things, isn't it? Where there's a lot of games being played because people are meeting up over a wider area. And maybe it's changed a bit, hasn't it? Now with the advent of the internet, people don't generally do all their purchases as a show now. I mean, I heard, it's always been going on, hasn't it, for the last few years? People sort of say, well, is there any point in a trade show anymore? You know, I buy all my stuff on the net now, so what's the point? I suppose, is that what he's getting at?
Could be. I mean, I go to a show because it's fun.
Yeah.
Do I need another reason?
I think we're maybe answering the question here, aren't we? Really, is that I've always gone for a show for that one reason, Mike, because it's fun and I enjoy
for the crack.
For the crack, that's right.
Just a chance to run into folks I don't see very often, to go and pour over whatever Rich's latest madness is, whatever the guys who do the 3D printed tanks and spaceships are producing this year, all that kind of stuff. It's not I take a shopping list with me, but in general I go there simply because it's a bloody great big hall full of like-minded folks I can natter to.
Yeah, so for me and for you, it seems like it's been a village show for a while for us, sort of thing.
Mm. Keith says no, Jimbo.
No, Jimbo.
Excellent. Right, okay, and Jimbo then goes on to make a comment to say, at what point are we going to go and visit the north of England?
Oh, it's scary up there, cold.
Grim up north.
It says that north of England has a really thriving gaming scene, and it would be nice to be part of the Meeples gaming map. Wow, it sounds like we've been invited on a Meeples road trip.
There's a War Games club up in the Yorkshire Dales. I could be very tempted to drink black sheep up there.
Or we could go to Scotland and do a few distilleries.
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, I did that on my 40th birthday. My wife treated me to several distillery tours. It was fabulous. There's always deep fried lard.
I was going to say we could do deep fried lard followed by a distillery tour.
But bear in mind that deep fried lard is either the weekend before or the weekend after Operation Market Larden. And I don't know about you, but swinging 2 passes on consecutive weekends might be pushing it.
What do you mean 2? That'll be 3 because the weekend before Market Laden is UK Games Expo. So maybe not.
However, we should try and go up north.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it's one of these things. Obviously, being where we're based, we're kind of Midlands and slightly south. So we tend to get around...
And a fair way west in Hobbs's case.
And a fair way west, yeah. So we tend to get to the stuff generally within a couple of hours, plus obviously the exception, I suppose, being Salute. But...
It's one of the... Sorry, Neil, I was just saying, it's one of the things where when we did Patreon, now we've got the Patreon running up, it's sort of one of the things that we're seeing in the distance that we might be able to do, isn't it? Where we can report from shows and other things that are going on in the world that are from further afield, but that's sort of like in the distance at the moment, isn't it, for us?
Yeah, but it's certainly something we'd like to do more of.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking. So we're using the Patreon money as money to buy flowers for the missus to allow us to go out to shows further afield.
Yeah, it's going to need a lot of flowers. It's going to need a lot of flowers. Is this Elton John bulks worth of flowers? Is this?
Yeah. So there you go. If you want to get us further afield, invest in the Patreon.
Oh, dear.
It's not. We've talked about it, haven't we? We've talked about it for a year or two, haven't we? About going further afield, but it's just. It just comes down to time and finances, doesn't it? At the moment, really.
Yeah. So, but love to. Would really. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice. I mean, let's face it. Things like Leeds and stuff isn't that far away. So I'd like to get up to.
I have been to Claymore once. That was good. Good event.
Yeah, and I'd like to make it up to oh crikey, that show in York that I can never pronounce.
Bartnack.
That one, indeed.
What? Attack.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, it's not that far from me. Or you, Neil.
Yeah, relatively speaking, it isn't. So,
point up the nose at one of those big dual carriageways and stop when you get to a city with lots of walls around it.
It's basically 3 hours at the A1, isn't it? Yeah. So
less than that. So less than 2.
Blimey, how fast do you drive?
70 miles an hour, Your Honour.
I only broke the speed limit once, about 2 miles outside Peterborough.
What, you broke the speed limit once for a very long way?
Did you get flashed?
I'm saying nothing, officer.
Next question.
Next question, indeed. Right. Okay, this one, again off the Facebook group, from Frank Shandy. Hello, Frank. Right, it's been acknowledged that a couple of recent innovations... Who typed this? Good grief! The typing on these questions is horrible. But I get an awful feeling this was cut and pasted from my email. So there you go.
Hi, Frank. Welcome to the show.
Indeed. No, I think it's just my bad transcripts because I couldn't do a cut and paste because of anyway. Yeah.
Can't read your own typing.
Can't read my own typing, indeed. It's been acknowledged that a couple of recent innovations in wargaming come from board games, such as resource management. What mechanics, concepts, or approaches that are used in board games would you like to see in miniatures games? Follows on with the comment that says, the new legacy concept would probably not go down too well. After all, who wants to destroy their meticulously painted figures? I think that's brilliant. I think the legacy concept is absolutely brilliant. I mean, yeah, it would certainly mean that you would think twice before committing your unit to combat if you knew that if they lost, they would, they'd be taken off the table and go under the foot of your opponent. Could this work for war? Right. What about cooperative play? Could this work for war games, or is there anything else that you might think that is worthwhile to experiment with? Excellent question. So, board game mechanics in board game mechanics in war games. What do you guys think?
Well, cooperative kind of happens already. There are. I mean, for those of you who are at Operation Market Laden, fundamentally, bloody Omaha was 4 players against me as the umpire.
Yeah,
so we do that quite a bit, I think.
And if you go back to, if you're a fan of the 2-hour War Games sets of rules, boy, that's going back a bit, isn't it? But a lot of those games were designed that people could play cooperatively, and effectively the rules would play the opposition.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of those out there. Admittedly, not very many, because obviously potentially the AI may struggle a bit.
Yeah, I think, though, what you're more likely to see is the kind of trick where you use a board game as a means of giving you wargame context. So using something as the campaign setting, and instead of playing the battles within the board game's conflict resolution rules, you extract the units out onto the wargames table. I can see that kind of thing happening.
Yeah, so effectively, yeah, you got like so I don't know, let's take something like, I don't know, Wallenstein, for example. That age-old favourite,
or any of the large hex and counter games.
Yes,
you could do it with, basically.
Yeah. So anything like, fairly grand strategic. But at the point where those armies meet, in a particular location, it all transports to a board of a certain level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great that we're actually talking about it. Because for a long time, war games and board games have been completely separate, and wargamers like their rules to have a certain style, standard, format. But now people are picking up that there's a lot of great mechanics in board games, and they could be used in war games. So I can't give any examples, but but it's good that we're having a conversation at last.
There's a lot of blurring the line now. I mean, what's Command and Colours?
It's a board
game.
Is it
a board game? Is it a war game?
No, it's a board game.
What's Conan?
It's a board game. It comes in a box.
What's Star Wars Imperial Assault? If you play the cooperative version, it's a board game. If you play the skirmish version, is it a war game?
I'm going on the concept that Dave told me that board games don't count towards purchases.
So don't get me involved.
But being serious here, though, there's an awful lot of blurring the line happening now. There's a lot of places where you look at something and go, that's what's X-Wing? There's a really good example.
X-Wing is I think X-Wing, although X-Wing is the miniatures game, I think there's a
disallowing for the moment the fact that there's some licensing arguments going on in order to keep Fantasy Flight's nose clean.
So I was going to say there's a bit of a blurred line with licensing agreements there.
Yeah,
so,
but you see my point. There are a lot of things. Star Wars Armada. We could go on. There's a lot of things where that line is starting to get very, very blurred, and I think that's a really good. Sales of Glory comes in a box.
Mm. Yeah, and at the same time, as I say, I mean, obviously you flip the other way. I mean, I suppose the classic example is Saga, and by moving that forward, something like, I don't know, Sword and Spear, for example.
Yeah.
Where your dice becomes no, that's more of a case. Your dice are command resources that you then allocate. Yeah.
But again, you can also there's another way of drawing the line, which is, does your board have squares on it? In which case, is X-Wing a board game?
Is 2 the strongest a board game?
There's another good question.
Potentially, actually, that is a very good question.
Just a counter.
Yeah.
A wise man once said.
My head just exploded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, they're games. I've kind of stopped using the term war game now. I tend to describe what I do as tabletop gaming. It makes things a lot simpler.
More encompassing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good question, Frank.
Indeed, but I still love that concept of legacy games. I mean, I suppose it's a case of if 3D printing really took off, You know,
Took the words out of my mouth.
Your unit is destroyed. Give me a hammer.
Give me a breeze block.
Size, loads up filament, starts printing again.
Yes. Oh, dear me. Yes, I like that.
Poor Neil. Takes 10 years to get a figure painted and it gets destroyed in his first outing.
I tell you, that's the problem. One charge and that's it.
One charge and it's all over.
It'd be an even more expensive hobby for you that way, wouldn't it, mate? Can you imagine what X-Wing would be like?
It's not funny.
Just think what WAB would be like to me. I have such a great collection of wooden spoons from WAB tournaments.
Oh, dear. Right, okay. Last couple of questions from Facebook. Okay.
Shall we take these two as a pair?
Yes, we will. Okay, sorry. These are the last couple of questions that were sent in previous to the show. Out front, actually, there are also hello guys. There are some guys listening who have published some questions on the Facebook group. So somebody better pick those up. Right. Because I've only seen the last 4 comments.
And we're back in the room.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Anyway,
commenting on the Facebook stream seems a little strange. I think it's some strange Facebook idea that they don't want you to see all the comments or something.
okay. Can someone try and get hold of those, please? Right. In the meantime, right. Sorry about that, guys. Right. If money was no object, describe your ideal games room and the table that goes in it. And that from John Steed. Thank you, John.
Love me.
If money was no object.
Large, insulated, and with plenty of shelf space.
And with space for at least a 12x6 table. And enough space that I can basically put...
A 12x6 table and for Hobbsy a set of steps.
Yeah. And enough shelf space that I can store several tables worth of 2x2 scenery tiles.
Yeah.
You are missing one vital thing that needs to be in this
Bar?
A bar?
Someone just took the words right out of my mouth. You
Well,
can't have the war games room that money cannot buy or infinitely can buy without having a bar. And
you've missed the other bit.
Go on then. Go on.
You need a little shop in the corner run by your friendly local game store, so you don't have to leave the room when you run out of things.
Oh, that'd be a nightmare. You'd never get Hobbsy out of it, would you? We'd never get a game finished.
I don't know what you mean.
I'll tell you
Hobbsy, roll the dice. Hang on. I'm just buying
Hang on, the
another
shelf's
army.
falling on my head again.
I was going to say, one requirement, incredibly secure shelving.
A good lock.
Yeah.
Probably a professional painter might be a good idea to have as well.
What chained up in the other corner?
Yeah.
Wouldn't chain him up. Just throw him a sandwich now and again.
Maybe get the odd bag of pork scratchings for him from the bar.
Yeah. That is, yeah. Wouldn't that be lethal?
Yeah.
I mean, I just say ideal man cave, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about, getting a pass out for a weekend.
big TV on one side as well, so we can have the rugby on. Yeah, as well.
Hello, dear. Haven't seen you for a few days. Are you still okay?
He is. I don't think it'll be days. Sounds perfect. I'm in. Where do I start?
Next one.
Oh, yeah. No,
It's actually a good question from Luke Holmes that came in before.
Go on then.
Right. Excuse me. Having recently bought a stack load of Heroes of Normandy boxes and playing the first few missions.
Oh, you fool.
I discovered Heroes of Normandy had a PC adaptation. Thanks both to Mr. Hobbs. You're welcome, Luke. It's a really good representation of the game. It's so good, in fact, it's made me feel that I can't be bothered to get the board game out. and just play the PC version. Do you enjoy PC, Android, iOS versions of board games, or do you find that they stunt or inhibit your enjoyment of the physical game you own?
That's an excellent question.
It is a very good question.
Good one.
Yeah, that's something I thought of as well. When those first games started coming out on PCs and what have you. For me personally, I've found it as quite a good aid to learn how to play the game, being someone that can't remember rules very well and doesn't like reading them either. I found it useful. Thanks, Neil.
But one of the things that, yes, they're great. I love being able to play Memoir 44, Battle or any of the other things that you can play online. But this is a social hobby. And yeah, it's great having the PC games, but there is no substitute for having someone across the table from you who is a real life, living, breathing human being who makes their own tactical decisions, who you can have a laugh with. And yeah, they're great, but they're not a replacement for sitting across the table from someone.
No.
Yeah.
I actually made a conscious decision to step away from playing board games on computer. There was a point where, there are something like 3 or 4 online sites. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but things like BetSpillvout, if that's still going. There was Uplay IT. Obviously, there's a load of stuff on Vassal. Despite
there's Roll20.
Yeah, some of these things have got lousy front ends to them. Vassal's got a horrendous front end, but once you get it up and running, it's fine. And there was a point where I was playing no end of games across all these platforms. Literally hundreds. And I did actually put that argument that you, Mike, have put out about, excuse me, this is a bit of a social hobby that's meant to be played face to face. I was actually in danger of just playing too much stuff online, I thought, so I purposely stepped back away from doing that.
What we've got to remember as well, though, is some people haven't got the opportunity because of logistics, where they live, etc., to be able to get a regular gaming fix. So,
oh yeah,
it is a good weapon for someone, really.
Oh no, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. They are brilliant, and the fact that you can be playing multiple board games with people right across the globe. So, that still does my head in. From a sheer practicality point of view, oh, hang on a second, I'm currently playing Ticket to Ride with a guy in Germany, a guy in Poland, and a guy in the States. And yeah, there are some excellent, especially some of the recent Android ports. There are some excellent conversions out there. Days of Wonder did a brilliant job with things like Ticket to Ride, and Small World 2, for example, was brilliant. The latest one that GMT did of A Twilight Struggle. We were chatting about this the other week, weren't we, Dave? That we were saying that, considering how long it can take to set Twilight Struggle up before you even get to play.
Yeah.
We were certainly thinking, hang on a second, because...
Will we ever get the box out again?
Will we ever get the box out again? Or what we'll do is we'll sit in the same room. Dave will be on his PC. I'll be on my Android tablet, and we'll be playing Twilight Struggle. We'll be playing Twilight Struggle, but we'll be playing it online, and still having the same banter and what have you, but without the board. Because, it can easily take you half an hour plus to set the board up.
You two are odd.
Yeah, but that's subtly different, isn't it? Though from the whole playing it against online on your own against the computer.
I think a majority of people that play online aren't really playing against the AI, because generally the AI aren't very good, are they, in these games? Well, that's generally the reports I see in my experience. I think a lot of people are using it as a tool.
They're good enough.
Well, yeah, okay, I take your point. That's right. People are using it as a tool, aren't they? I think the majority of people are using it as a tool because they just haven't got the ability to be able to nip down the club or whatever.
I only play solo in any computer board games, and it's just if I got half hour, I'll start a game and I'll have a quick, I'll just do a scenario. I don't play online against other people.
Yeah, is that because you've got an outlet though, Mike? I'd have said.
Yeah, I think so. I do tend to separate the two. Probably same as Mike. I look at board games on a computer as just a way of filling a bit of time.
So I can't interest you in head-to-head battle lore at some point then.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't care because you're a mate. But I wouldn't go and play against people I don't know, and I wouldn't try and set up a game online because then I sort of think that's taking away my gaming time. I just do it when I got quarter of an hour, half an hour free. Nothing to do, and I'll play then. But I find they are really good for learning the rules, as you said, Dave. So it's I'm able to say like the social part of it. I'm going to play. I love playing. Getting together with my mates, and playing a board game or playing a war game or doing something with my mates. But when I'm on my own and I don't feel like painting, I'll just start Steam up and I'll play something for half an hour. And that's it.
Moving on. Shall we go back to that question from Alex Woodrow that we skipped over?
But nobody knew we would skip over it. Edit point. Oh, God,
can't do that, Neil.
Can't do that, mate.
It's a very good question.
It is.
Go on, fire.
Here's my question. To whom will the assorted Meeples presenters be bequeathing their figures / terrain / board games when they leave this world for Valhalla? Is it the same person or persons to whom they will bless curse with their lead mountains?
Great question.
My wife has already started costing out my collection and working it out. So yeah, when I go, she's got it all sorted.
What's the line? I live in mortal terror that my wife will sell when I die, my wife will sell my war games collection for what I tell her I paid for it.
As opposed to what it's actually worth. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Indeed.
Mine will go to the club with instructions to sell it in aid of combat stress. And I think the same will go for the unpainted pile.
That's very magnanimous.
It is.
My wife's going to buy a Porsche of mine.
Just the one.
Or
Several.
you beat me to it.
New house.
Small island in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Josh will end up listening to this at some point, so I'm sure he'll be pleased to he'll be pleased to know that, mate, sometime all this could be yours, and you never know. What? And you never know. There may even be some more painted stuff in it.
You know what? For a moment, I thought you might leave me your dice, Neil. I don't want them. Don't leave me your dice.
Talking of which, and an aside, hello to Keith Erickson, again. Dave, did you see the comment that Keith made about stuff we should be selling?
No.
It was goodies.
Priceless.
And one thing was about dice. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. Enlighten me.
Okay, right. Let me find the comment, because this was absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Keith. Right. Meeples and Miniatures swag ideas. Number 1, Dave Luff's Lucky Dice. Custom dice, hand-selected by Mr. Luff. Imbued with the tendency to roll well in whatever game played.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Not just sixes.
Yeah. With the following conditions. That the owner may never own a lead pile, nor make purchases of gaming items one does not need. Which means they make great gifts, but if bought for oneself, they will become the cursed and dreaded Shuck dice. So buyer beware.
Shall we move on to number 2 in that, then? Number 2. Neil Shuck's favourite cakes. Selections of cakes personally selected by Neil Shuck, with options to ship around the globe with delivery times of less than 5 days. However, final delivery of all cakes purchased will be made to one Mike Whitaker of Peterborough.
It doesn't matter where you send them.
So
Absolutely.
never be seen again.
Almond cakes. It's a new concept. Post a cake, it gets the mic.
Anyway,
number 3. Shall we nip through the other 2 quickly, because they were rather good.
Oh, go on then.
Number 3. Custom embroidered shirts created by Mike Hobbs, because we have to stop him from filling his house with painted lead. Seriously, he can't have much room left. Boxes arriving every day. Think of his cats. We need to keep the man busy with something else. All sales final. Only available in extra small.
And followed by number 4.
Number 4. About number 4.
Mike Whitaker's unopened games.
With the note that you may be able to sell them for a fat profit.
Anyway, oh dear. Right. Moving swiftly on. Thank you, Keith. I that made me smile. Well, guffaw out loud several times.
Yeah, we'll have to get our heads together and talk about that, Neil. There could be something in there.
There's mileage on that for Patreon, isn't there?
Dearie me. Yeah, I love the dice idea. That is just brilliant. Yeah. Dice blessed by Mr. Luff. Arms for the poor. Oh dear. Right. Tiny Painted Heroes. Asked this on the website. It said, you've reviewed and played countless games over the last 10-year span. Yeah. There were quite a few. If you could choose only 5 war games to play from that lot, any genre, any scale, including board games, which 5 would you pick? Crikey.
We better make this a quick rattle off a list, otherwise we'll be here for the duration of an end-of-year show.
Yeah.
Actually, just go listen to our end-of-year show. I'll pretty much tell you.
Yeah. Actually, yes, it would. Yeah. I think, funny if this is counter something I said, I almost said earlier. It was a conversation that we had. I think it was while we were playing Command & Colours last week, wasn't it, Mr. Love? And we basically turned around and said, you know what? Especially with all the versions of Command & Colours that we've got, but especially like Command & Colours Ancients and the Command & Colours Napoleonics, I said, we could quite happily, and MMR 44, what have you, we could quite happily only play those games for, if you played once a week or played even a couple of scenarios a week, we could quite happily only play those for the next 2 or 3 years, couldn't we?
Oh, yeah, and some.
Yeah. Because I had this crazy idea of because of all the CNC Napoleonics expansions, playing all the battles in chronological order, which would be great, but it'd take forever. I mean, how many battles are in each expansion? What, 18, 20, 30? Lots?
Lots. Just put lots.
I seem to remember, Neil, a long time ago, you said on the podcast that you had this idea of refighting every battle that took place on British soil. How did that go?
Curse you for remembering that, Mr. Hobbs. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. It's a wonderful idea, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a fantastic idea. How did it go?
How's it going?
Yeah.
Done about 4, haven't we?
Something like that. Yeah. It's good to have ambition. That's what I say. And you never know. At some point. Yeah. I suppose if nothing else, that means I'm still going to have to buy me War of the Roses armies. I'm still going to have to buy me ECW armies. It's a tough life, isn't it?
Shall I do my
is.
5?
Go on then.
I've just been busy. Okay, so in no particular order, Chain of Command. Cool. Well, Chain of Command, yes. Command and Colours Ancients, Command and Colours Naps, Kingsburg, and Pillars of the Earth. I think got all the bases covered.
Which is being reprinted later this year, boys and girls.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. With the expansion.
I shall be buying a copy.
Pillars of the Earth with the expansion. It'd have to be though. Yeah.
Yes, because the 5 and 6 player expansion does add some very good stuff to it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do actually with the reprint.
They've said, I think, that whether they reprint the expansion depends on how well the base game sells.
That'd be nice. Right.
Yeah. Chain of Command, I Ain't Been Shotman, Dux Britanniarum, Firefly the board game, and probably one of Star Wars Imperial Assault and Dungeon Saga, so I have something to play with the wife.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't come up with 5, to be honest with you.
Desert Island Discs. Games.
I'd have to think about it. I mean, Chain of Command would be in there, and Sharp Practice, definitely, and Command and Colours. The other two, I don't know. Epic and Heroes of Normandy. There we go.
Oh.
Next.
Yep.
Indeed, next. Right, okay. A couple of questions from Mervyn, the bringer of cake.
Who's on the phone? Hello,
Who's on
Merv.
the phone?
Yeah.
Hold on, caller. Your call is important to us.
That's the cake hotline phone, isn't it?
It is. Right. Oh, what a horrible question. Have you ever sold a board game you later regretted and then repurchased?
Oh, you've done that loads, haven't you, Neil?
I've certainly done the first half of that, which is sold a board game, then I've suddenly gone, oh, I wish I hadn't sold that. I can't remember whether I've actually then gone back out and rebought it.
I thought you bought a few.
I'm just trying to think. I know I've done it with figures. The absolute classic one I did was when I bought a whole load of Crusader Normans to do. I was actually going to do a Robin of Sherwood skirmish game. And of course, Crusader, Robin of Sherwood, they're proper Normans. So I thought, oh great, I'll get a few packs of Normans, and I had them for ages, and then got to the point and went, I'm never going to do anything with these, and sold them. And 6 months later, Saga came out. And of course, what did I do? I bought a Norman army. Curses, bought them again.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I've sold and then rebought, but certainly sold and really, really wished I hadn't. I don't know if anybody remembers, Victory Games produced this brilliant set of solo World War II hex and counter games, Ambush, Purple Heart, Silver Star, which were basically these really rather brilliant mechanically programmed scenarios where when you moved on to a certain hex, there were basically certain things would happen based on various events in some fairly complex scenario books. And I sold them, having played the first game precisely once. I'd had one of those bad attacks of must buy it all, because once you've bought the base game, you've got to buy the expansions. And I sold them, and I actually really, really wish I hadn't, because they were fine games.
I've thought of another one. The battle systems Kickstarters, and they did a fantasy one, like a dungeon one, which myself and Mr. Hobbs bought into quite heavily. And then I was looking at mine, and with one thing, combination of circumstances, I thought, you know what, I don't think I'm going to need the fantasy one, so I'll sell it. And this was only like 2 years ago, maybe even 18 months. Anyway,
So I sold the fantasy version. So all that went away on eBay. And then a few weeks later, having a conversation with Mr. Luff, and Luffy turned around and went, "Oh yeah, Dungeon Bashers love them." And I went, "Seriously?" "Oh, yeah. Didn't you, Dave?"
No, I don't know what you're talking about now.
And I went,
Still not coming round for a game of Dungeon Saga then.
Oh yeah, we're going to take you up on that. We were talking about that the other week, actually.
Yeah. But it was like, no, I've just got rid of all this stuff to make your own dungeon. No.
Well, communication let you down.
There we go. How about you, Hobbsy? You've been quite quiet on this one.
Board games, no, because I haven't really been into board games that long, so I haven't had a chance to get fed up and sell them. Figures I've sold and then bought back. In fact, recently I bought back an army that I sold to my mates about 5 years ago.
Sorry, I have just seen a comment on Facebook. Hello, Mr. Cranky Lawyer. We're doing it to him again. Who mentioned Pillars of the Earth? Luffy.
And Kev Adams on Twitter has just asked, will we ever get to the end of the saga of the Saga Norman's Mounted Knights?
One day those knights will be ready, but today is not that day.
Well, is someone interested in Pillars of the Earth?
Yeah.
Oh right. We best not tell them about World Without End then, because if you play the first one, then you have to play the second one, don't you? It's just that's the law.
Oh yes, World Without End. Yes, indeed.
I love the books. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, World Without End. Put it right. The theme of World Without End is one simple thing. There are two things that are certain in life: death and taxes.
That's it.
Bear that in mind as you're playing the game all the time.
Be pious and pay your taxes.
Yes, yeah. Two things will happen: death, taxes. Yeah, but no, Pillars of the Earth, great game. Yeah, and very sorry, Mr. Cranky Lawyer. But yeah, it's another one worth getting. Really is. It's a great game.
World Without End. Check it.
Right, we appear to have lost some of the questions off the Facebook comments. Can anybody see me? They've gone.
We do have another one from Merv. Sorry, Mr. Douglas.
Go on then.
Is there a particular era or conflict that you feel is still waiting for a rule set that grabs you?
Ooh.
I got one.
Go
on. Crimean War or Franco-Prussian War?
Ooh.
Ritual release you a set at some point when you least expect it, when he's been bored for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping. Yeah, something, I don't want to do ACW. I want to do something a bit later than that.
Is there any reason you couldn't use Short Practice too?
Oh, no. I mean, but I'm thinking bigger battles. I think, doing proper big Crimean, maybe in like 15 mil, and just looking for a nice set of rules to do that would be nice. Yeah. Something that captures the as Rich always says, the tactics. That's the thing. You can find loads of rule sets that will allow you to play a game using those armies, but it's finding something that captures the tactical nuances.
Yeah,
that you had in that period.
For me, it's Mass Battle Ancients. I know we've reviewed lots of rule sets that are all very nice. They're all very clever. Some of them have absolutely brilliant activation mechanisms, but I've not yet found one that makes me want to dig out the WAB armies and carry on using them. I've got several cohorts of Romans. I've got some Parthians. I still haven't found a rule set, and it isn't WAB, and it isn't War and Conquest, and both Sword and Spear into the Strongest. Yeah, they're lovely, but there's just bits of them that I don't like. I don't like multiple basing, a la Impetus, etc., etc., etc. And I just haven't found the rule set that makes me go, "Ooh, yes, please," yet.
What about Aurelian?
Not tried it. It may be that is the rule set. Who knows?
Because that is because Sam's done something really nice there because he's concentrated on that little 70-year period.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem has always been that everybody tries to produce that set of rules that covers New Kingdom Egyptian to Harold on Senlac at all points in between. Yeah. And the reason I am hugely in love with Dux Britanniarum is it picks that 150-year period, if that, 450 to 550, or possibly even less, and it makes it work. And that's what is missing for me.
There's a lot to be said about. I mean, it's great that we got rules that allow us to play almost like a 2,000-year period, almost. But sometimes you need to just concentrate on a particular era and just nail that one era. So
there's also as well as Aurelian, there's Augustus to Aurelian. Which, being as how that has certain sort of bloody-ish sort of mechanics, may well appeal. But again, I haven't tried it, and maybe I should. But that's probably the one big, because my first introduction to wargaming after playing Wings of Glory was WAB, and I've said I've got the armies. I just really haven't found the rule set that makes me smile.
Mm. How about you two?
Well, I think exactly really what Mike's saying. I think on podcasts in the past I've said virtually exactly the same thing, that they're all very good at the moment, but I've not found an Ancients rule set that scratches the itch that I really enjoy as much as, say, playing Chain of Command relative to World War II, if you take my drift. I mean, I love Sword and Spear, but...
And Mr. Shuck?
Here's an interesting one. Arab-Israeli War. A few years ago, I got the crazy idea about doing Arab-Israeli War in 3mm. And
that's almost the sound there of three other people on the podcast going facepalm at the same time.
But he can't play because he lost the army.
No, no, I haven't bought them yet. I mean, I bought the Ospreys and all the Ospreys and a few other bits and pieces, and who is it? Micro. Oh, crikey! The guys that produce the Orders of Battle. Is it Helion doing them there? But I can't remember. Anyway, but got everything and of course, 1973 is a lot more interesting than 67, because 73 is a bit more, for want of a better phrase, well, things like sagas and stuff made things a bit more interesting as opposed to just Israel steamrolling over everybody. It was a lot less, because of the lack of air superiority. Things made life a lot more interesting from a battlefield perspective. And I've yet to find a set of modern combat rules for doing large battles that will work. Had a long play with Cold War Commander, and eventually decided that couldn't really get on with them that well. So I'm looking around for that. But that's just a mad thing that I might do at some point. There we go. That was a bit left of field, wasn't it? Right. Let's go to the Facebook group, and there's people who've been posting questions, and I'm desperately trying to find them. Guys, if you're listening to the show and you posted a question which we haven't talked about yet, can you please repost it, because they appear to be disappearing off the comments page and we can't see them. Okay.
I do have one off Twitter.
Go on then.
This is from Basement Games. Right. My question is, what has changed in the hobby in the last 10 years that you did not expect?
Ooh.
Ooh, crikey.
I'm going to say something we touched on earlier, which is how board games are now influencing how war games are being written.
Yeah, how they've melted into the two.
Yeah.
The lines have been blurred. It is probably a very good one, actually. Yeah, definitely one that I didn't see coming. Well, so the rest of us.
3D printing.
I wasn't going to say that, actually, but now you came to mention it. From when I first was a wargamer to now, I think it's got to be how much more available ranges of figures for obscure corners of the military world are.
Mm.
Time was when I was this isn't 10 years ago, it's 25 or more. Okay, ancients. Well, that'll be affix Romans, affix British, or spend the earth on finding the little shop that actually stocks the metals that you want. These days, it's where do I start?
Mm.
You think, I really want to replicate Stephen versus Matilda in Shropshire in the 12th century. Well, somebody does some figures for those. Moving on. Next. Which didn't used to be the case. And I think we are. I think somebody said in the past on this podcast, from that point of view, we're in an absolute golden age in terms of being able to find the figures for the period you want in the scale you want.
Yeah, good point.
Hmm. Yeah. It's just the sheer availability, and access, and the fact that.
Maybe I'm too young to appreciate this.
Possibly.
No, you're not, Dave.
How about something that's okay? It's perhaps slightly controversial, but definitely revolutionary. MDF scenery. Now, I never saw that coming.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I forgot all about that. It's been around for so long now. You think it's been around forever? Yeah.
I found it really interesting. Like going back to an old Games Workshop. One of their first how to make terrain books that was put out, and it's really weird reading through a book that was published I suppose actually back in the 90s now, and it makes no mention of MDF or coffee stirrers. Which
that's because the coffee shop is a thing in the last 10 years as well.
Well, quite, yeah, but certainly, yeah. I mean, there has been an absolute revolution in laser cut MDF scenery, which means that so many. I think scenery was such a. I think it was, and the affordability of scenery was perhaps a real obstacle to people. Especially for getting, because who doesn't think that again benefits from having quite a few buildings out on the table? But of course, when all your the only buildings you've got available are resin ones.
Or if you go back even further, our Wargames Club basically lived on several copies of the FX La Saint taken apart in various ways.
Yeah.
And a couple of Bologna vac form things.
Yeah. So that I would suggest that MDF scenery has changed the face of your local changed the face of the average wargaming table
absolutely.
Never really saw that coming until it actually happened.
Yeah. The other thing that's moving on from that now, which I find very, very interesting, is the people who've wised up to the shortcomings of MDF. And I'm going to pick out Charlie Foxtrot, who are producing what, for want of a better word, are hybrid buildings, where the obvious flat bits are MDF, and when, yes, you could do something incredibly clever involving building up multiple layers of MDF, they go, fine, we'll do this bit in resin then.
Oh, I got one of those as well.
Go on.
Jeff Bond. who is
Hello, Jeff.
yes, he's going to be trading at Crusade. I'm going to give a massive plug here because he might buy me a pint later. So he's basically starting a new company called Ham and Jam, and he's going to produce ready-made, ready-painted buildings which have an MDF shell, but are textured on top of that using sort of plastery stuff, and roofed, and they're all painted, and they're fantastic.
Oh, was that some of the stuff he was showing off on Twitter and stuff a while ago?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they're really nice.
Yeah, so he's basically going to, try it as a little, side job to his normal job. But the way he's put these things together is fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those on Saturday.
Oh, good. Good stuff.
Yes. That's Ham and Jam. I think there'll be a website soon.
Come on, Jeff, get it sorted.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ooh,
Jeff, if only you knew somebody who could put a website together for you.
He can do it himself. He's a bloody software developer.
Yeah, and having seen the mess some programmers make of building websites, some bits of it you should leave to the graphic designers.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Right, next question. Another one off Twitter. How has your respective gaming changed in the last 10 years?
That's easy. I've actually got some.
Yeah, it's got busier.
10 years ago, I was not gaming. Other than occasional board games with Anne and James.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's...
Who's that from, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't put in the.
Yes,
of course.
Yes, my fault. That's from Frank.
Oh, that's from Frank, is it?
Reynolds.
Thank you, Frank.
Sorry, Frank. I left your name out.
Right. So, it's asking about games, periods, rules, clubs, regularity, etc. I don't potentially game the breadth of game that I did 10 years ago. Primarily because,
Dave won't let you.
well, there was that.
Don't blame me.
No, what? I suppose, actually that's changing again because we're kind of starting to build, albeit a small gaming group with a few extra mates.
All part of the master plan to take over the world, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, very much so. But that it's nice to get it back into. Much as I love him to bits, sometimes it's nice to be able to. It's nice to be able to lose to somebody else other than Dave.
Oh dear.
Anybody would think you did that a lot or something.
Dave, okay, how many years have we now been playing against each other?
Getting on to about 10 years, isn't it?
It is.
Give or take. Yeah.
It is. Okay, can you name the occasions that I've actually beaten you at a game? Is it more than on the fingers of one hand?
Not really. Unfortunately.
Is this because you're good or I'm just appalling?
I don't know. I'd like to comment.
It's dilution, isn't it, Dave? I mean, Neil's just too diluted.
Maybe not for me to say.
No.
But I mean, we all know what tactics coming when you play Neil. So,
Charge.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually. He'll resist it. He'll resist it for so long, and eventually he'll give in. Probably within about 15 minutes of him trying to resist it. Just get the machine guns in place, just ready.
It's coming up to 9:30. Should we just have one more question?
Or shall we attempt to just run over just a little bit and do a couple more? What do you think?
It's up to you. You're
your show.
I'm
Yeah.
Oh, let's carry on for a bit longer. I'm having fun. Come on. Right. I mean, have we answered that? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, have you? Have you changed in what you're doing? I mean, Mike, I suppose is it less Games Workshop for you, and more other stuff, Mr. Hobbs?
Over the last 10 years, no, because I got into historicals about 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
So no, it's just I'm playing a lot more different games. I think that's the big thing for me.
Mm.
And my collection's grown.
Indeed.
Tripled.
Yeah. I know. I think my lead mountain is probably smaller than most people on this podcast, other than Dave, which doesn't count. That's mainly because Gareth paints most of my stuff for me. Next question.
Next question. Okay, moving swiftly on. What about painting? Again, this is from Frank. What about it? How has that changed? What, other than the fact I'm now doing some? Different style or methods? Do you accept a higher or lower standard? Ooh, that's an excellent question, actually.
Washes have really come in and completely changed how I paint.
They're the future.
Yeah. Plus, it's selling away to ADC painting.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me that affected my painting was finally convincing myself that I didn't have to paint every miniature I owned to the standard that I saw in White Dwarf. Because I actually I almost kind of psyched myself out of it, and you look at all this. I could never paint something that good, so in the end you kind of go, well, why do you bother?
In my case, I'm never going to be as good a painter as Andy Hall, so just suck it up and accept it.
Yeah, but I mean, and that is a similar sort of thing. I mean, I'll remember something that a friend of mine, Colin Haygreen, always said to me. Hello, Colin. He said, if you paint ancients, make sure that there are three things that are well painted: the head, the shield, and the base. Because that's the three things that first hit you.
And as I say, one of the things that I discovered is just how much a figure comes to life when you base it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Decent basing, but decent basing is half of figure. If you can do a half decent job, but do a good job on the base, and so that's one thing I've taught myself is to base well.
And be neat with your painting.
Yeah.
You know,
so
just slap and paint on, draw a proper line, and that's it.
So I suppose from my point of view, yes, part of it is accepting a slightly lower standard and turning around and thinking, and actually accepting the fact that, the 2 or 3 foot rule, if it looks good at arm's length, that's good enough for gaming. And accepting that is actually perfectly decent because, the vast majority of the time, that is the range that you will be viewing your figures on the table.
Very, very rarely are people going to be picking up your figures. Once you've started the game, people are not going to be picking up your figures and scrutinising them, except possibly to tell one unit from another. In some things like, is that the junior leader in Chain of Command?
So, that change in mindset actually got me painting, because before then I bought all this stuff and I'd almost talk myself out of the fact that I could paint.
Good question, Al.
Fun question.
Right, next one. Basement games. Right. For some 10 years is a lifetime. Others it's only last week. So what game has stood up for those 10 years? John, I think we kind of answered that one, did we? Earlier in the show, what game has stood up for 10 years?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Command and Colour, yeah, I mean, for many of us, Command and Colours.
Wings of Glory, Wings of War.
Yes.
Epic.
Right. Okay. So, will we... Oh, sorry, I've just seen Kev Adams. Yeah, will we ever... that was what you mentioned earlier. Will we ever get to see the end of the saga of the Norman Mounted Knights? I'm staring at them at the moment. They're on a tray above above the table that I use for painting and podcasting. Hopefully this year. Originally, I would have had to have got them done for the end of next month because I was going to be playing in the To the Strongest Championships in Oxfordshire. And I was going to be using I decided that if I was going to do it, I wouldn't borrow an army. I'd make sure I had it all painted, and I was going to use my Normans. That would have been a bit of a challenge, as it's only 4 weeks away. But then, tragedy struck, and unfortunately, I was bought a Christmas present, which is a 2-day course in airbrushing, and it clashes. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the To the Strongest competition, which I'm gutted about. But it does mean that I get out of having to paint my Normans in a month. There you go.
So short answer, Kev. No end.
Next.
Right. Frugal
This is a
Dave.
good one. Good question.
Which single game, campaign, or game system would you erase from your gaming history and why?
I think I've got one. It might be similar to yours now. I don't know. And I'd do it guttedly, actually. It'd be Exilis.
Oh.
Just because I spent so much money on that. I enjoyed it so much. And I think we were just so ahead of the curve on it. And, yeah. And it's just gone totally the way of the dodo now. Gutted. Still gutted about that.
One of the first major, like a game system that I bought into. And it was like, and we loved it and we promoted it. And, obviously you heard about it an awful lot at the time because we were talking about it lots. And it's like,
That's probably something related to one of the questions we had earlier. Really, something I'd like to see in the future is the blend between war games and PC or computer support. Becomes a bit more apparent.
As I think we've discussed in the past, it's really hard because of as soon as something like what happens to Exilis happens, you don't have a game. And even with the likes of running the whole thing up on something like Amazon Cloud Services, where you can keep it going for considerably less than if you have to invest in your own data center or rented server space, you've still got to work out a costing model that allows you to pay your AWS Amazon Cloud Services hosting fees sufficiently well to keep the thing up. And while they are compared to shoving servers in a data center and paying people to maintain them ridiculously cheap, the cost is still not zero. For me, WAB. It was, when I started wargaming, it was pretty much the only Ancients game in town, and I think since I started, I've started to see the flaws in it. And certainly WAB as played by the people who are, quotes, good at it, now leaves me cold completely.
I really can't think of one. I've kind of enjoyed all the games I played in some way. No, I really can't think of anything. Not saying that I've never made mistakes. Obviously I have, but I've never sort of turned around and said I'm never going to play that game again, or I'm never going to play against that. I have actually turned around and said I'm never going to play against that person again, and I've done that quite a few times. I'd probably say 40k if I had to pick one, and that wasn't because the rules were a bit, crap, and some of the people I played against were a bit crap, and it sort of irritated me because I kind of like the background of 40k. I like the fluff, but the rules really aren't that good. So if I could, yeah, for 40k.
You stole my thunder, mate. That's what I was going to say. 40k. 40k. For the amount I played it, we were talking earlier about, bang for your buck. The amount I played it compared to the amount I spent and the amount of armies I bought and all that sort of thing, which I have subsequently, I bought, stored for X number of years and then sold again. 40k.
Yeah.
Wasn't good. Right. Move on. Right, let's crack on because it's almost 10:15. We need to finish soon. Right, okay. Mark Jarvis. Mark! Colonel Marbles, what a guy. He was I was so inspired by Colonel Marbles' video casts back in the day when he used to do the Colonel Marbles looking at new releases. That was brilliant. I loved that. Thank you, Mark, for that. That helped inspire me. That did. That was brilliant. Right. So you're saying any chance of covering any chance of a Congo review? The short answer is yes. Covering LCGs like Lord of the Rings in more depth. I can't remember if we've actually ever done a in-depth review of Lord of the Rings.
So, in short, any coverage at all would be more depth.
I think we talked about it at some point, but yes, certainly. I think it's something that's worth a revisit. So yes, thank you. But especially Mark, thank you so much for your video podcasts. They were incredibly inspiring. And I'm anything I've done on that front has only been a mere imitation of what you started. Right, next.
Okay.
One from Carl, which I'm going to interpret this because I don't know if it's exactly what he meant. If you could play any person, which I assume he means at a war games table, alive or dead, who would it be?
Oof.
That's got to be the old Napoleonic complex, isn't it? I'd like to be Napoleon. I am the right height.
What's it? Alexander the Great, 4'1".
Yeah.
I've got.
How long have you been a robber?
Hello.
Oh, two answers for that. I would love to play Don Featherstone at one of the games from Skirmish Wargaming. Just to see how he ran it. We did the 100 Years War one last year at Hammerhead. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see how he did it, how it worked for him. And the other person I would really, really love to play, and if he's listening, I apologise if it makes you blush, I'd love to play one of Mark Luther's 6mm iron beam shotgun games because they are gorgeous.
Mm. I don't know. How about you, Luffy?
Me. How about Boudica or Boadicea? Because if no one turns up, then I know that she never existed, because now they're arguing whether she actually existed. And if she did turn up, I'd then say to her, where did it happen and when? And where?
That's the archaeologist in you speaking there, isn't it?
That's getting some good historical research in while you're at it.
That's right, because if she doesn't turn up to the table, that's it. You're sorted, aren't you?
Yeah, but
Hate to break it to you, Hobbsy, but Luffy, but she's dead.
Well, yeah, but the question was live or dead, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
Fair
if
comment.
if she doesn't turn up to the table, then she never existed.
Guys?
And yourself, Mr. S?
I'm not sure.
Dave on an off day?
Ooh, that's harsh.
Harsh but fair, I think, is the. I don't think you can beat that one. Dave on an off day.
I have to admit, when Dave first started his answer and his first word was me, I was thinking, so Dave wants to play himself, which means he'll lose half the time, or they'll all be draws.
Right. We are going to have to wrap this up soon, aren't we? Shall we take try and just grab another quick couple? Right. James Hunwick. Hello, James. Question for the team. What's your most memorable in-game moment? I do hope that Neil's is a charge. Can I answer that one? And actually, yes, it is.
But there have been so many.
There have been so many, but I did actually get awarded a prize at Society of Ancients Battle Day. We were playing. Oh, crikey, what battle was it? I'm trying to remember. We were playing. It was a late Roman. Late Roman, and it was Rome against Persians. And I can't remember the battle now. Sorry, it's off the top of my head. But I did actually get a prize because I killed the. I did a frantic. I mean, we were playing Commanding Colours Ancients, but we were playing Epic Commanding Colours Ancients as our part of the game, and I did actually have an heroic cavalry charge that killed the opposing general, and as a result, was at the end of the day awarded a prize for it as the most spectacular slaying of the opposing general. So that is probably one of my most proud gaming moments, when I actually got awarded a prize for something.
I think mine are the two major character deaths in our Dux Britanniarum campaign, because they were both just oh crap moments. They're why the campaign system works, because you can get involved with the characters on a level above just figures on a table. And they were brilliant.
Mine was a game I put on about 10 years ago, based on the Battle of Beville, which is just after D-Day. And we played it using Battlefront World War II rules. I did put all the armies together, built all the terrain. We had 8 mates. I sent out orders to the 2 commanders a month before with their forces and a list of their objectives and what they knew about the map. And we got together for a whole weekend and we played the game and got hideously drunk on a Saturday night, drinking an awful lot of Calvados. And it was just one of those perfect weekends. Everyone just turned up and we just played this game. There was 8 of us in total. And it just worked. Really good game. That's my gaming moment.
How about you, Luffy?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think I've had one compared to the rest of you, really. Seeing your face when we first started playing Chain of Command and I managed to roll 5 turns in a row. That was a red flag. That was a pretty good one. And probably the other one would be before I'd really knew Mike, really, and we went to one of the very first Saga Day down at Evesham. And Mike nominated my my Viking army to go into the sort of like the judging for the painting competition for the armies that had turned up that day. Mike had to pick so many out, and I was pretty shocked, to be honest.
I was told to, mate. Neil told me.
Oh, was it? Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to break it to you, but
slipped him a tenner.
Yeah, that was a fiver. This is Neil. God, yeah, I remember that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, and I didn't really. I knew of you. I didn't really know you. Yeah.
He. What can I say? He's a cheap date. Oh, guys, we're running out of time. This is a real shame. Solo gaming. Do you, Matthew Kemp? Hello, Matthew. Solo gaming. Do you like it or hate it? It kept me going for a lot of years in the hobby. So I have to say that although it's not my first preference, it kept me going for a long time. And favourite game, the 2-hour war game the 2-hour war game series, because the AI, the way the rules worked for solo gaming was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think as previously discussed, I prefer wargaming as a social hobby. Favourite solo game has to be, as also previously discussed, the Victory Games Ambush Hex and Counters game. Brilliant piece of programmed scenario writing.
I've never really done solo wargaming, I must admit. Like Mike, I see it as a solo thing, so if I'm not playing against other people, I just don't play. I'll be painting. Or these days, maybe play on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going on the computer route, then probably my favourite port is the Heroes of Normandy one.
Cool. Luffy?
Yeah, probably very much the same. I don't really do solo gaming as such. The only time I really do solo gaming is on the PC. At the moment, it's reliving my youth playing the book Sorcery. So I'm playing those on Steam at the moment. So there you go. Go and buy them, someone.
Okay, we've got one final question, but guys, thank you to everyone on the live stream for joining us. I can see. Thank you to Pear. Hello, Pear. Oh, by the way, the answer is yes. So yeah, we'll see you in Sheffield. Neil from Australia, Neil Hughes. Hi, mate. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Lee, hello, and why will Facebook not show me all the members who's on the stream? Because I'd just like to see everybody who's on it, but for some strange reason, it's not showing me everybody who's on it. So, hello.
Well, it's probably a safe bet that it's everybody who's liked it, and there are at least 16 of those.
Aha, yes, okay, so, yes, James Hunwick, hello, James. Al McDonald, Fraser, hello, Fraser. Dave Churchill, hello, Dave. Hello, Jarko. Mike Blake, hello. Julian, hello. Oh, Gary. Gary Strombo. Hello, Gary. What a guy, Gary. Yeah, huge encouragement at a time when I needed it. Thank you, mate. Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Frank Shandy. Pat, hi. Andrew, hi. Christian, hello. Colin, hello. And Ralph. Ralph, hello, mate. Thank you for everybody for joining us. And for bearing with us over this new show, new show, and trying this live stream for the first time.
So,
yes.
So, here's a question for the listeners just before we go: if we get the kinks ironed out of this, would you be interested in being a Patreon subscriber and getting maybe one of these live a month, say, as part of your Patreon subscription? Maybe.
What?
Just a thought.
Hang on a minute.
I need to go between the committee.
Hang on, whoa!
I'm bouncing it around as an idea. It's relatively easy for me to do. Now I've got the kink side out, apart from the fact if I can figure out how to get rid of my microphone out of my headphones. It is not a difficult thing to do. It would be something we could consider. I don't know. Just voicing a thought.
It's a thought. Yeah, it's a thought. Okay. Yes, I want to thank you to everyone who's joining us on Twitter as well. Hello to Keith Erickson. Hi, mate. Thank you. Sorry we haven't been able to keep up with everything that everybody said, and we've missed some questions. I do apologise. We will get better at this. So this is our first time doing this, and yeah, hopefully we'll get better at this as well. One last question. Okay, Lee Riley. We've looked back at the last 10 years. He had a question. What do you think will happen in the next 10 years in the tabletop industry? That's not a small question, is it? Oh my word. One thing that we might see in the next 10 years, guys. What do you reckon?
Go on, Mike. You can say 3D printing. Go on. I'll let you.
Well, I don't need to. You just did.
Yeah, more 3D printing.
But I think that, and I think there's, as I said about MDF buildings, there's been an interesting movement towards hybrid means of construction for things. And I think that's just going to grow. I've been building stuff which is part 3D printed and part would be resin cast if I had to do it resin cast, but as it is, I'm doing it with Will's Pantal sheets, and I'm sure that there are people who'll be doing things that are a mix of 3D printed and MDF and that kind of thing. And I think that kind of thing is just going to grow. We're going to see more and more fabrication methods, basically.
Yeah, the impacts going forward of 3D printing is going to be massive on the industry, commercially and practically. And where it's going to go, I haven't got a clue. I do remember 8 years ago.
I'm really excited to find out.
Yeah, I remember 8 years ago I was told no one would ever print things at home.
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, you look back and say, actually, the hobby has grown so much, especially over the last 10 years. I mean, you look at how board gaming, for example, as looking at the tabletop gaming hobby, how board gaming has continued to massively explode. You look back at when was Settlers of Catan come out in the mid-90s, late 90s, and that was kind of one of the things. This different board game, and then you look now at just how much stuff is produced and the quality that is produced, and you think, where can this hobby go? It's growing massively. It really is difficult to say. I think the hobby will become a lot more mainstream.
Yeah, I think the other thing though is I'm painfully conscious that we are all gentlemen of a certain age.
Indeed.
Speaking
and more power to the likes of
Shush you, Mia you young whippersnapper, you.
Shush you, yeah, exactly. But we need to be sure that we keep dragging in the younger generation into the hobby. And I'm very gratified by the average age of Peterborough War Games Club, which I'm pretty sure is dropping, which can only be a good thing. And certainly we've started to see younger faces at shows. Again, good thing. They might not be playing the games we play or the games we like, but that's not a problem. And people who are putting games on at shows need to learn that.
Yeah. I think we'll see a lot more different types of games. I think we'll see a lot more board game mechanics coming into what I would call war games. But I think we will also see the slow depth of historical war games. I think that the people in the 20s and 30s haven't been brought up in to play a war game as a historical game. I think they see war games or tabletop games as a game. So I think that whilst it'll always be there in some way, I think what we say as war games will slowly diminish, and we'll just see tabletop games based in a fantasy, sci-fi type environment.
Permission to disagree.
Well, we'll have to wait and see in 10 years.
So that's going to be our next long-term disagreement. One of the things I see down the club is people come into the club with one game, and they'll come in because they want a game of 40k, because they want a game of War Machine, or because they want a game of X-Wing or something. And you will find that by the end of a year, they're playing loads of games. And one of the evolutionary paths that seems really, really common, particularly if you've got people who are prepared to evangelize the games, are good at putting them on, and we have the club policy of always trying to make sure there is some kind of participation game, and a lot of those are historical, is that people will evolve as they mature a little into historical games.
Yeah, but there are historical games, and then there's historical games. Just playing a game using some historical figures and saying it's World War II doesn't make it a World War II game.
No, absolutely.
But I think that's what we'll see. So you'll see. No, it's the difference between seeing games like the Lardies, where it's all about the troops, weapons, and tactics, and a game like Bolt Action, where it's all about putting 20 tigers on the table.
But it's quite interesting seeing that. I'm certainly seeing people evolve from Bolt Action into playing Chain of Command or I Ain't Being Shot On, who came to the club only wanting to play Bolt Action.
Yeah.
And that's down to the people who already understand why good historical games that aren't, for want of a better word, 40k with tanks, are what they are, being able to present them and draw people in, introduce them, and that's down to people, not just at clubs, it's down to people at shows. And I don't see that it's necessarily going to die out, provided we don't let it.
Yeah, but we're all going to move on. And people who create the rules that we play are also going to move on and stop producing rules. So you'd be left with mainstream companies producing rules which may not be that good.
But the rules don't die just because the people making the rules do.
No, the rules do die.
They do, actually.
They do. It's the cult of shiny.
They don't have to.
They don't have to, mate, but
as you say, the cult of shiny has an awful lot to do with it. Ask how many people now are playing 7th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle, for example.
Even though they probably got the armies and the rules and they could do it, they just don't do it because there's something new and shiny. It is called a shiny, and it's not a bad thing. The hobby's going to continue, but it's not going to continue in the way that we expect it to continue, or in the way that we play at the moment. We're going to see massive amount of innovation in the hobby. We're going to see some brilliant games. But I think the hobby that we play is going to die out, and maybe you should. Not being, it's all about evolution.
Regenerate.
Yeah.
What's the phrase? And on that bombshell.
Indeed. It's like, okay, so now we've depressed half of our listenership.
Yeah, sell all your stuff on eBay before the prices.
Yeah. So I'm buying Epic stuff, which is really old game and nobody wants to pay it anymore. So send it to me if you want. I'll look after it.
Oh dear. Well. Yeah. Well, Lee, thank you. Excellent question, and as you can see, we could probably talk around this, but it's now gone 10 o'clock, and considering we were meant to wrap this up 35 minutes ago, I think it's time that we actually did bring this into land. So, right, thank you to everybody who participated on Twitter and Facebook and joined us in this crazy experiment. Thank you to my podcast compatriots in arms. Thank you, Mr. Luff.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Whitaker. Take your microphone off mute.
Too many mute buttons.
And, of course, thank you to the Welsh wizard himself, Mr. Hobbs.
I'm depressed now.
Yeah, I need a drink. Oh dear. And sorry, caller, we're finishing.
Merv, too late, Merv.
Yeah. Right. And finally, I just want to say, guys, who listen, without you, we wouldn't do this. And I have been constantly bowled over by not only the number of people who listen to the shows, but the amount of comments and feedback and interaction we get with people. I have been. Oh, hang on a minute. Incoming. Sorry, I mean, this is sorry. I'm being interrupted by Mr. Hobbs. Mr. Hobbs, you have something to say.
Not a live show, is it?
There is one more shout out that we have to give.
Go on.
I think we all stand behind this. It's somebody who's been really, really important to the podcast. And that's you, Neil. Thank you as a listener for the last 10 years.
And the large hole in my bank balance.
Now, I think, I got into this hobby because of you, mate. Like many people listening to this.
I wouldn't be in this hobby at the level I am, involved with the people I am, and the real sets I am, if it wasn't for this podcast.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Shuck.
Thank you. I don't think I'd have met Dave without this podcast. Isn't that right, mate?
Maybe not. Cool.
Because you listened to the podcast, and then we ended up finding out we didn't live that far away, and then ended up going to the same gaming club.
Yeah, that's right, actually, because I was scouting around trying to find a suitable club that I wanted to go to in Leicester, and couldn't find one at the time.
I found you. This podcast has got a lot to answer for, hasn't it?
Yeah. I forgot, that escaped me, actually. Then I forgot that was really how we met. Yeah, yeah, but it was.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you. But as I was saying, I feel very fortunate in the fact that, when we started this 10 years ago, there weren't actually that many tabletop podcasts around. And quite a few have fallen by the wayside since then. Including some really good shows. I mean, say, think about when I started, there was some shows like all about miniatures and stuff like that. Excuse me. I used to love that show. And, there's been a lot of people, so I suppose keeping going over the time has been down. At times it's been hard work, but it's been down to the fact that people have constantly listened to the show, and I've always encouraged, and I've always come back with the feedback to say they're really enjoying it and they'd like to hear more of it. I like to think that over the years, forget like to think. I know over the years, I've met and become friends with an awful lot of people, because people are willing to, listen to the show, and meeting up with people at shows and gaming events and other things. Biggest privilege ever. So thank you to everybody. We really appreciate it, and here's to another 10 years. Well, I would like to say at the moment, but let's see where we go from here. But yeah, thank you for the last 10 years. I've had a fantastic time producing this. Thank you to Mike and Dave. And again, I mean, someone I haven't mentioned, Rich Jones, for taking the time to be podcast hosts. Thank you to Henry Hyde, for coming on and doing View of the Veranda. and all the encouragement he's given. Thank you to Rich Clark for, Rich has been a huge supporter of the show, right from very early days. I know he doesn't say a lot about it, but he has been a huge supporter of the show, and thank you. And again, thank you to everybody who has supported the show over the years. We really appreciate it. And let's see where we go from here, shall we? So, thank you ever so much. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening. Happy gaming. And hey, guess what? We'll speak to you next week.
Neil, have you pressed record?
Oh, no. He's not done it again, has he?
Don't!
Thank you for listening to the Meeples and Miniatures podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, why not share it with others by leaving us a review on iTunes? And if you have any comments or questions, you can always email the show. The address is info@meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. And you can also visit our webpage, where you'll find a complete episode archive, all the View from the Veranda podcasts, rules reviews, and our blog of hobby items and news, which is updated several times a week. This is also where you'll find the links to our presence on social media. And here you can follow us on Twitter or join our Facebook group. And finally, here you can also find details should you wish to support us by making a donation to the podcast. All this on the Meeples and Miniatures website, www.meeplesandminiatures.co.uk. The Meeples and Miniatures podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.